in this section, we are going to talk about styling in React. So styling in React is highly flexible, allowing developers to create visually appealing components, whether it's inline styles, CSS modules, or libraries like styled components. Each approach has its strengths. Today, we'll start by exploring different styling methods to understand their use cases. So I'll start by creating something called a styled button.jsx file, write some code, and then I'll explain. With some inline styles applied to it. Inline styles allow you to define styles directly within your JavaScript code. This approach is quick for small isolated components. Notice how button style is a JavaScript object with camel case properties, as opposed to hyphenated names of regular CSS. In traditional CSS, you would write background dash color, but in React, it becomes background color joined. Additionally, properties accept JavaScript values like numbers without units for pixel values, for example, padding 10 for 10 pixels, which differs from the string-based syntax of regular CSS. This distinction helps integrate styling directly with component logic. So let's see how it looks like in the browser, and you can see it has the styles applied on it. So while inline styles are useful for rapid prototyping or isolated components, they can become unwieldy as your project grows. Managing styles externally keeps your code organized, so let's explore CSS modules next. To properly understand the concept of CSS modules, let's go with an example. So let me first create a new file and call it button.module.css. In here, I'm going to cut that style from styled button, make it dot button. And since it's a CSS file, we need to get rid of all these quotations. So to do that, I'm going to do Control H and replace all. CSS modules allow you to scope styles locally to a component, preventing conflicts that often arise in traditional CSS, where global selectors can unintentionally affect unrelated components. In traditional CSS, a global style like dot button could inadvertently style buttons all over your app. With CSS modules, importing the styles and applying them as a class name ensures that the style only applies to the intended component. React achieves this by generating unique hashed class names for each component. This means that even if two components use a class named button, their generated class names would be different, preventing unintended styling overlaps. The end result is a more predictable and conflict-free styling system, making it easier to maintain and debug large projects. So with our code done, let's go to browser and see that being applied. So it's the same CSS, but applied in a different way. But if I select the button and check its class name, you see the class is underscore button underscore 1QK1C. That is what I was talking about. That's a unique hashed class name applied only for this component. So CSS modules are great for larger projects where style separation improves readability. Another approach is styled components, which allows you to write CSS directly in your JavaScript using template literals. It supports dynamic styling based on props. This can be useful for highly dynamic UIs. However, it may add complexity for beginners, so it's worth exploring as you advance. We are not going to cover this in this crash course. Choosing the right styling approach depends on your project size and complexity, whether it's quick inline styles, scoped CSS modules for conflict-free styling, or dynamic styled components. React provides the flexibility to style your apps effectively.